Joe, can you please walk me through what the heck is technical debt?
So technical debt is the pile of work that shows up when we decide to take the easy route now and for the harder route later. Um, my friend Brian Button has a way of describing it. He says, present Joe needs to be kind to future Joe. So when your present self is mean to your future self, that's technical debt, where you say, I'm taking the easy path now, and I'm going to have the harder route later. Now, technical debt isn't always a bad thing, especially when you talk about like maximizing the amount of work not done. There are
Mm,
certain times where it makes sense to do the easier thing first. I mean, I've run demos for product owners and stakeholders off of a laptop rather than standing up a dev environment because
mhm.
we needed to get their feedback. We
Right.
knew we had to stand up that environment, so it still makes sense. But over time, that kind of, taking the easy route can build up and cause problems. So it's much better to tackle that stuff in the moment whenever possible. And then we did it with this Tetris game to show, you know what, when the work piles up, it just makes everybody's health or makes everybody's job harder in the long run.
Sure. I have a few follow-up questions. Can you give me some examples of what you've seen as technical work or technical debt while, you were coaching?
So one was on a product that we made at a company that shall remain nameless, where we did tax documents that we delivered online.
Hmm.
And when we first built it, we built it for that particular tax year. So all of whatever that year was had individual tables and stuff like that. The thing is, every time we went to create another year, we had to recreate the entire database schema for the next year. And we had to change names. We had to do all of this stuff. And by the time I came to the product, we were 7 or 8 years into it. And when I proposed, hey, let's redesign this so that all we have to do is, normalize the database, do some other work so that the fields can be accessed normally. It was so much work, it simply couldn't be done. The technical debt had piled up to the point that the only thing that we could do was live with it
Mm,
because it was going to take us an entire year to redesign the application. And that meant we couldn't have new features. We couldn't do all of this other stuff. We probably could have, but we didn't have the funding for it. So in the end, we were left with this mountain of work to maintain that everybody recognized could have been done a better way, but we only know now in the future what we should have done.
nice.
That's one
Anything
example.
else? Any other example or anything else you would want somebody to know if they're curious about learning about what is technical debt?
Check out Ron Jeffries' Twitter feed.
All right.
I mean, there's all sorts of places to go. I mean, the one thing is don't get into a religious argument about this. The concept is simply that sometimes there's work that piles up that we wish we could take care of that contradicts or maybe gets in the way of product delivery. So work with your business partners, work with your partners and say, hey, look, we've got stuff that we need to do. Sometimes it needs to trump delivery. Sometimes it doesn't. But don't get held up on either side of the religious argument. Just make your case, say, hey, this will be better if we took care of this, and then do your best.
Nice. Thanks for sharing, Joe.